YouTube, what is up? It's your boy here, Troa. Back again, once again. We're bringing you today live the 5th edition of the MLG GBO2 podcast. We have a little bit of a different crowd with us here today. Normally, we're joined here by Suplex. Today, we actually have the guest, Leather, aka Landlord Dealership, filling in for him. What's up, Leather?
Hello, everybody.
And as
It is
always,
the Brown.
The Brown. As always, we have our boy Nova.
How the fuck did you not give me top billing? I'm so offended right now.
True.
True.
Nova's been here longer.
Gotta give the guest some love, man. Gotta give him some love. He's filling in. Suplex couldn't make it today. We love having you here, man. Can't wait till you're back. But one thing before we go ahead and we start off the cast here, Dengeki Online is hosting another GBO2 live stream, with devs and everything else, where they had that Q&A, where the Zong information came out, and everything else.
Baoku soon.
Baoku, etc. They're doing that June 12th, at about, if I converted this correctly, the time, it's 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You have until June 9th to submit your questions to them. I believe it's on dengekionline.com. It's in GBO2 Discord, in translations and updates if anybody's in there. You can check it out there as well. We're a week in after getting the Gelgoog Marine here. Big energy raid. I did a commentary on it, did a gameplay breakdown. I have some further thoughts upon it after playing it for a week, testing it in different aspects of the game, bringing in different costs, etc. But we're going to start with you, Leather. You got the Goog Marine. You got the 400 cost variant. What do you think of it, man?
I think it is my favorite raid in the game currently. It's just so good at 400 cost. I don't know about the 450. I don't have it, but I imagine that it has a bit more difficulty fighting support to that cost because they're just so strong. But at 400, it's borderline too OP. You got that Gelgoog beam rifle. Clean 3,000 on any clean 3,000 even with just 20 range mod.
Yeah, clean 3K with a range mod with the Gelgoog beam rifle. Would you have you used the machine gun on it at all?
Oh, the problem with the MMP80 is that at 400 cost for the level 1, it's just not really worth it. It doesn't do it it does it the same amount of damage as the risk, which is like around 200. You do have the insta-stun and the grenade launcher, but I honestly think that the Gelgoog beam rifle just really punish supports for just sitting still and not really moving after every shot.
Mm-hmm. Do you find yourself using the forced injector skill on it at all?
Only if I want to dodge stuff, but normally not. I mostly use it more in space. But on the ground, I usually don't tend to use it just because I'm afraid of just losing my legs or something.
Yeah, leg overload, man.
Yeah, leg overload. Because everybody, you're in a Gelgoog, everybody wants to shoot you in the legs for some reason. In space, you don't really have to worry about that too much.
You're a big boy, man. You got thick thighs, thick legs. A lot to shoot at,
Yeah, that's a big skirt.
Gelgoog doesn't skip leg day. Doesn't skip leg day.
Lift, bro.
Yeah, do you even lift? How do you have it built, man? Are you going full melee, full shooting, full defense? What's going on with the build on it?
Oh, I went full melee on it. I gave it more anti-beam, level 2 if I remember correctly, because everything at 400, that's when the beam meta starts kicking in.
Right.
And I gave it shooting correction. I think that's why I got it to 20 range mod, just because that Gelgoog beam rifle was like one of the best parts of this suit. And I did something that a lot of people probably won't understand. I gave all 3 first levels of shield reinforcement.
That's interesting. Why did you do that? The knuckle shield is incredibly small.
Because it's incredibly small, but it also gives you that boost to counter tackles. If I remember, I believe it's called enhanced tackle.
Right.
Which gives you which gives you a plus 50% to a counter tackle, and you move like plus 5% in distance, if I remember correctly, and it's just really good. But it is true, it is really weak. I've been shot by like some supports, like Gunner Gundam, and I'm boosting and it just breaks, and I'm just sitting there stunned, and then some blue just comes over, just downswings me. It's crazy. That's why I decided to give it a bunch of shield reinforcement.
Okay, and you said you have level 1 through 3 on there?
Yeah, I have level 1, 2, and 3. I have all the slots filled in for it.
That's pretty interesting. I didn't think about putting any shield reinforcement on mine at all. Are you more passive with the suit? Are you aggressive with it? Or are you just sitting back shooting, or are you charging up your beam rifle, using that to potentially get in close to use the wrist Gatling gun at all? Going for melee, of course.
This is what I love about. Okay, hear me out here, everybody. You got quite possibly the best beam rifle in the game at this cost. Sometimes you don't even need to go near the support. You could just outshoot them, or get into a shooting fight with them. Of course, it is a lot better to just go in there and just melee them, and keep them busy.
Mm-hmm.
But I do tend to play a bit passive with it if I'm playing with randoms. If I'm playing with you guys, I just go balls to the wall. Yeah, but if I'm playing it in raiding, I have to most of the time I have to babysit my teammates. So I do like to play it a bit passively, and if I'm confident in their ability to like take care of themselves, I go in for it and everything.
Okay, that's interesting. Good shit. I'm gonna say what's up to chat real quick. Then Nova will get to you on the Goog Marine, man. What is up, Suplex, Coolio, Phoenix Destiny, Leomorg, Phoenix Destiny? It's going pretty well, man. How about yourself? Hero, what's good? Proxy Phoenix, what's going on, bro? What's going on? Nova, what do you think of the Goog Marine? What do you think, man?
First, I just want to say, Claw Gang and friends, represent. Anyway, obviously, I see the Goog Marine as probably the strongest ranged raid in the game right now. As far as competition, the only thing you're really looking at as far as ranged raids in 400, 450 plus would be the Goof Custom, which recently received a couple buffs itself. Even still, I would say anything with a beam rifle is significantly better off. That really leaves the GO5 with its rifle, and then the Goog Marine. You've got the G3, but, well, G3 is the best raid in the game. Everyone knows that.
Totally.
True.
And anyone who's brave enough to bring a 400 cost Zoot at that cost is... What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Goog Marine, though, obviously it's got the Gelgoog beam rifle. That alone is enough to make it a good suit. It needs nothing else, but it has many other things. I don't have one because Kobe hates me. Kobe Y. BBY. Come back, baby. But if I had one, I'd likely use it as an aggressive forward. I see where it can be more of a passive scout type, because with that rifle, you can just kind of sit, poke, and harass any support without hard engaging or pushing up to them. You can be a little bit more reckless with your positioning so long as you have cover. You can fall back, but you probably should be getting close and doing what any raid should do, and that's completely destroying the support. If that means you have to come up close, obviously your combo is likely going to be full charge Goog rifle, stun, get your Gatling out, unload while you can, switch back to your rifle, get another charge shot off, and hopefully by that point you're close enough for a melee attack. The melee on it seems to be pretty nice. It's pretty much what you get out of the Jaeger. It's what, 3 swings, Troa?
Yep, 3 swings.
That's delicious. The 3-swing combo, I like its downswing. The downswing is a little bit wonky, and I think a lot of people have trouble predicting it, especially since Jaegers aren't super common at 450. With it, really, you should be advancing and just destroying them. The shield, I mean, I can see where the extra tackle damage is nice, but I'd probably slot more defensive parts in that rather than shield parts because, yeah, other raids have bigger shields, at least at those costs. 400, yeah, it's probably a little bit better at 400 because you have less tanky things. 450, the supports you're going to see are primarily the Madrock first, Once you see a mud rock, you know it's just going to keep hey, and then just shoot. Heavy Gundam, that's another 450 you see on occasion. Someone who's brave enough to bring a gun cannon. I mean, you see a gunner every now and then, but
You see
not as
gun
often.
tanks now. You see gun tanks. Come on, man. You see the big gun tank. Let's talk. I want to talk about that for a moment. I'm sorry to cut you off, Nova, but the gun tank has some crazy beam defense now. It is one of the tankiest supports when it comes to range defense. It's insane.
I just want to say, as much as that's insane, playing games when you choose tech suits is painful trouble. Why do you let the randoms be raids?
Look, man, I don't always want to play raid.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Some betrayal, man.
So sometimes I like to bring out the 450 Ground Gundam. Sometimes I like to do that. But Phoenix Destiny says Gelgoog Marine is overall just a basic raid and a Gelgoog. Not much to separate it, I'm afraid. That's
all you really need.
Yeah, but I'm going to use that to kind of jump into my point here, on my thoughts. I think there's a lot of things I think there are some things that separate this suit from the rest of the competition in terms of raids. But I think the Gelgoog Marine is different at 400 compared to 450, as we've kind of gone over here. But of course, the big things that are separating it from other raids, but it's a Gelgoog, the beam rifle. But most importantly, if you fuck up with your beam rifle, you have the Risk Gatling, which stuns in 10 hits. That's huge. All you need is 10 shots to connect, and boom, they're stunned. You can go in for your downswing or your neutral. Probably you want to go in for your downswing because the downswing on it is sneaky fast, has sneaky range as well. You have to be a little bit specific with the arc for when you're going in with it, but the range is very nice. It's that. The enhanced tackle damage is very nice, so if you're able to, what I like to do on port base, boost up immediately on a corner. A lot of supports will try to downswing you. Hit L2, bam, plant your feet on the ground, start smashing triangle to get a counter tackle off on them. Huge amount of their HP gone right there and then. I think those are some things that separate it. Also, it's tankiness. How tanky is this thing? The Gelgoog, the GP Gelgoogs are not as tanky as the Marine. I mean, this thing is we're talking 30 basic, base anti-melee defense. 17 ballistic, 19 beam. Really good numbers with a large HP pool. With 70 boost base. You have 70 boost base on it. We talk about 82 boost. 82 boost. This thing starts with 70 boost automatically. You don't even really have to add boost to it if you don't want to. I don't think forced injector is a great skill on it because it's so fucking big. If you're able to weave in and out of people, you can. It works here and there, but you're not going to juke out more experienced players with it. In my personal opinion, at 400. It's an absolute beast. Gelgoog beam rifle. Leather and Nova have already talked about this, but Gelgoog beam rifle, very powerful melee game, very tanky, excellent suit at 400. But my gripe with it is when it comes to 450. And I've noticed this over the past couple days. If my aim with the beam rifle isn't on point, I'm getting stun locked into high hell. It's just how it is. Even with maneuver armor, even with the 70 boost, because it's such a big target, you can't juke the supports too much. It's much easier for them to hit you. Break your maneuver armor, break your charge on your rifle. Now you're kind of back to square one. And the supports are much tankier. Gun tank is tankier. Full armor Gundam is tankier. I wouldn't really say the Mudrock is tanky, but you got the heavy Gundam. All these suits that can make it a bit difficult, and then you have the Geo4s charging their mega beam launchers. It's hard to hit, miss a Gelgoog Marine, trying to weave in and out of places. So I think it just really changes up. I think the big frame hurts it. more than it helps it. And I think the knuckle shield can hurt it more than it helps it too, especially at that cost. Because one of the most vital things that you have for a raid is your maneuver armor and your boost. Next thing you know, your knuckle shield that has a small HP pool gets broken by one hit. Your maneuver armor's gone. Your charge and your beam rifle's gone. You got to restart your boost, and that's expending more boost just to restart it. Get back in your maneuver armor groove. So I think those are the detriments of it at 450. I think it's very powerful, though. It's still a very good raid. You can do very well with it. I've seen countless people do really well with it at the 450 cost. I've had some solid games with it, with just the level 1, taking that into 450. But I wouldn't say it's S tier at that cost. I'd say it's A tier. I think we're still kind of waiting on an S tier raid at 450. We have S tier GPs. We have S tier supports.
I mean, we have an S tier 450. It's still just the BD2 though.
It's just the BD2. Just the BD2. BD2's in a league of its own. I'm waiting for a new raid to come in and change things up. But yeah, beam rifle. That's what you want to use. I wouldn't use the MMP80. I wouldn't even touch it. Don't touch the MMP80. Don't do it, guys. Magnification multiplier on it. Again, you're going 100%. If you watch the commentary, you've heard this already, but I'll go over it again just to be safe. 100% on the first swing. Then you're down to about, what was it? It was 70% on the second swing. For how much damage you're doing.
No.
Then you're going down to 49% on your third swing, according to the Japanese wiki. So that's big stuff. Gelgoog Marine is a top raid, but 450, I think it loses a bit of steam with it. Now, something that actually Force says, what about the Gelgoog height clearance problems? You're talking about port base 4. On port base, it's so minuscule, right? It's such a minuscule problem. So what will happen if you're in a Gelgoog, for everybody watching and listening afterwards or whatever, is on certain areas on port base, particularly at C point when you're spawning at Team B, the pipes closest to C point, if you go under there, your Gelgoog cannot walk under them. It just can't. It is stuck there. It's too big. Does that really affect the game? No, because we've been playing this since port base since launch, and this is the first we've ever actually noticed it. But I don't think it's that big of a thing for. Not too much. Next S tier 450 will be the Gelgoog Desert. Yeah, probably, Leo. Probably. I'm looking forward to the Gelgoog Desert.
Yeah.
Which one is that? Is it the one with the pig nose, or is it the one with the big one-shot cannon from the first game? The wrist.
I think it's the one that has that half shield on it.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind. I'm looking forward to that too. Kind of, you people got me excited now. Can you imagine ground topography? Do they hover? Oof.
We need our lore expert, man. Suplex here. We're missing you, man. We're missing you.
Man, we
Come on.
Man.
What are you doing to a suplex?
What are you doing? But
it'd be really funny if he just shows up in the chat.
But next thing, the Ground Gundam got some buffs. We're mainly going to be. I did a video last night about the 400 Ground Gundam. We're going to be mainly talking about the 450 here. Why the 450 is a pretty good GP. I don't think it's groundbreaking, but the absolute tankiness of it, I think it puts it up there. You can run the Zook on this. You can run the beam rifle. Don't run the MG. I wouldn't run the MG on it. But you're looking at base 15,750 HP. You're looking at a base 18 ballistic defense, beam defense. It's more on the the lower side. Looking at more about 14, if I recall correctly. But that's easily fixed. Level 2 beam defense on there. Boom. What, 21 beam defense? Come on. Shooting mod 34, and that's base. This is a very tanky GP, and I think a lot of people are going to end up underestimating this suit at 450 cost. Even though the beam rifle doesn't do much damage, but I think the charge shot with the amount of tankiness, how hard it is to kill, I think it's going to have a lot of hidden value. Nova, what do you think about the 450 consistent 60K Ground Gundam?
Oh no, man, it's higher than consistent 60K now, especially since you've got that second swing, dude. Oh no, oh no. Yeah, I think you said it best. It's surprisingly tanky. When it comes down to it, GP should be doing one of two things: pushing or taking a shit ton of fire because you don't want your raid or support getting shot at. Presumably, you want to open up any kind of opportunity you can with a suit like the Ground Gundam. There's GPs which are stronger, more aggressive suits, and then you have ones like these where you've got the flash, you've got the beam rifle, and you've got your saber. At 450, you see a lot of, well, Hymos, as far as Gelgoogs, are pretty popular. Alex and Compers are out there now. You have things like the GO4, so most of those damage niches are already kind of fulfilled. And until they release the next big broken thing, I'm looking at you, GPO1 and GPO2. We're probably not going to see too much changing those as being the established meta. So when you come up with something like a Ground Gundam, people are probably underestimating it. That's almost guaranteed. At 450, you're going to have some people take moves that you'd probably think are a little bit more risky or aggressive, underestimating you. And really, that's one of the best things you can have, because if you can outplay someone, you can humiliate them by just showing them Ground Gundam's got you. Consistent 70K.
The consistent 70K. Look, boys, we're doing more than just 70K with this thing. We're hitting 80, 90, 100K. Ground Gundam's killing it. What were you saying, Nova? 100K? Can't believe it?
That can't be real. Oh, the Ground Gundam. Oh no.
It's killing it. 450. You just have to take advantage of its toolbox. Leather, what do you think of Heavy Gundam 2.0 GP variant?
I regret not buying it. I'm gonna say it right now, right here, right now. I enjoy feeling like Piper Perry every time I have like 3 dudes just surrounding me, shooting me, hitting me with that melee, and I just get up, I dust myself off, and I just go and fuck them too. This suit, I see, like Noah was saying, you can humiliate people with this thing. This thing is not to be underestimated. It has very good stats, and it's very. It'll probably outlive. It'll probably not kill you, but it'll probably outlive you in a fight. I think what were we in? We were in Port Base Troy, and I saw Troy get down swung. I saw him get shot by like 3 people, and I was in I think another GP. I think I was just in my Gelgoog Hymo. I died before he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I think it was an OG full armor Gundam shooting at me.
Yeah.
I think it was a GO4. Well.
Yeah, and all of these things were just shooting you. It also, I think, has a good amount of health, and surprisingly enough, all of these ground variant gyms, Gundams, all seem to suffer from like this syndrome where they're very tanky, even though you don't think they are.
Yeah, they can take a lot of punishment.
The suit. And also, what I do like about it, another thing is that the more I play my 300 cost, I only have the 300 cost with the 2 swings, which is pretty good now. The consistent 70K. You can play around. You can play around with that flashbang. A little flash. You could go run up through a corner and just flash a raid, or you could just flash a support. You don't even have to be near. You don't even have to like see you.
Honestly,
which is always good.
The flash has probably gotten a lot more popular ever since the weapons rack came out. People are more used to using it to set up stuns rather than a retreat tool. People in general have just gotten slightly better at the game. Only slightly. Only slightly.
Yeah, only slightly. I still have to babysit them. Fuck, I am.
So we got the GBO MLG GBO2 podcast here. So what's here for? Yeah, you can really angle that flash bomb around corners, get the jump on people, hit them with a downswing or a neutral, and they don't even see it coming.
No. You know what else you could do with it is if somebody's attacking one of your teammates, you could just like shoot it from behind them, and it'll go in front of them, and just stun them, and there you go.
I just
want to say 2 swings right there.
The most important thing to know about that flashbang is it works on pilots.
This
Oh,
is
does
true.
it?
And there's nothing like getting shot out of the air with a flashbang and stomped on.
Yeah, they can't. They
Damn.
can't roll. They can't get any iframes. I mean, they're done for, man. They're just slowly falling in the air. You know, just it's like, oh well, hey man, guess what? You're done. That's over. Yeah. So
I'll crush you with my giant robot that's tanky.
I love the 450 Ground Gundam, man. I run the BR on it. I don't run the Zook. I don't run the MG. I think you can run the Zook on it, like I said. But my favorite combo with this thing is BR, pull out the saber, go up, hit them with a neutral. Usually they'll dodge roll out of the neutral, but you'll still get damage off because it's just how iframes work and latency sometimes. And then I'll hit them with the flashbang. I'll keep a little bit of a medium distance between us. They'll get hit with the flashbang. They'll go, holy shit, didn't see this coming. What's going on? And I'll go on neutral, downswing. Then I'll come out and I'll do another downswing right on their legs. Right on their legs, try to get a little leg overload on them. If they've already taken leg damage, hopefully cripple them. Anything like that. So I think the suit's really good, and you'd be surprised with how the tiny little shield. If you've ever fought a weapons rack or you've ever used a weapons rack, you know how true this is. You take the tiny little shield on that, and it's next thing you know, it's basically a giant shield, and it blocks any and every shot coming in its direction. Just randomly shoot him in the head. Well, you know what? This forearm shield, it's going to take every shot coming right here. So has a lot of utility. Can be a very good team GP. It's not an aggressive, do it on your own GP, but it has 1v1 potential. I think it's something that's going to stay used in 450, and people are going to underestimate it. And when you're underestimating the Ground Gundam, guess what? You're going to get countered. And somebody, maybe me, is going to be yelling, "You fool!" Just saying.
Complete humiliation. Yeah, dude, imagine you're playing your 450 cost GP. You think you're hot shit, and then this fool runs up in the Ground Gundam. It just humiliates you.
It's like, oh man, this camper was real nice to have. And, this Ground Gundam though. Ooh.
Boom. Fuck.
Another thing that happened this past week was the hangar. We spoke about it. We had some predictions. We had some thoughts about what was going to happen with it. Boys, what do we think of the hangar system? Leather, what have you thrown in there, man? What have you thrown into the hangar?
I throwed in the first three things that I threw in before they took away my silver medal. Fucking Kobe. I threw in my Garibaldi, the best for the heavy Gundam, and my boy the Dodge. So all the first two it went well, but then my Dodge got, I think, what's it called? After great success, it's called Howling Success, which I think I got 600 hangar points for that, which gave me one extra thruster, baby. That's right. Instead of rocking 65, I'm rocking that big 6.6, baby. Oh, it's so nice having that extra thruster. I almost don't even notice.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Big thing. It goes from normal success
thing, baby,
to great success, and then howling success. So double is great, triple is howling. I don't know why they called it howling, but anyways, Leather, go on.
Anyways, like I was saying, man. And what else did I get on the Dodge? A plus 100 unit, which is quite generous. I thought they were gonna make it do like 50 or something, but it's quite generous for one. But honestly, how I feel about the hangar is that it's there. Like there's not really any incentive to like pay for it or anything. You could just leave your mobile suits in there, 70 hours, whatever. And if you get a howling success, cool. If you don't, just put it back in there. Who cares? I mean, most of this stuff is pretty whatever. But if there's one thing I do like about it is the extra slots that they give you for each. I think for long, close, and medium, which is pretty nice on some suits that I do want to put maybe level 1 shooting or level 1 melee, or maybe I just want to add a little bit of defense on that baby. Just to get a little bit of that feeling of surviving a bit longer.
Just the feeling of surviving a bit longer. That's right.
Yeah. But after that, honestly, that's the only thing that's really worth on from the hangar. I do hear the level 4s get better enhancements. I believe. I don't know. I haven't really checked it out. I might have to put a level 4 mobile suit in there.
Yeah,
But I
so
also
the
wonder.
Ground Gundam gets like level 2, at level 4. I know this because I increased my slots for
Mhm.
the Ground Gundam. It gets like, um, hell, I can't remember exactly what it is, but you get level 2 slots, and I think it increases it by +2. That would make sense. Instead of +1, you get +2. But go ahead.
No, I imagine that this is just because at level 4 is when the mobile suit starts lagging a little bit behind from the
Yeah.
mobile suits that are level 1 at that cost. No, like I think it is pretty worth it on like for example, I don't know, maybe level 6 Zaku Cannon, because at 400 cost it is pretty meh compared to all the other supports at that cost. And having a couple extra slots can help it with its defense, and maybe if you want to maneuver a little bit and put in that level 4 shooting part for that big extra shooting correction, get that shit to 64, baby. Oof.
Oof. That's
Oof.
big
Could you
energy.
imagine a Zaku cannon? Yeah, it's big
Zaku.
energy. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Now all of a sudden, people are just putting Zaku cannons in their hangars now because of me.
Zaku Ken.
No, but yeah, yeah. Hangar's nice, I guess, if you just want to have that little leg up. But I don't know. I think the one slot thing should have been like the first things you get on your mobile suits.
Yeah, that definitely would have been cool. I feel like a lot of the slots
Yeah.
are, for the most part, useless until you get to the actual, part slot increase. That's when you start seeing some of the benefit. Nova, what did you throw in there, man? What are your thoughts on the hanger system?
First three I threw in were probably my Alex, BD2, and the VG, just because fuck it, why not? After that, I've mostly used all of my tickets to keep going with the VG and the VD, just because why not? I like Googs. Honestly, yeah, there's not much I can really add to it, unless it's a slot upgrade. Normally, you don't get too much benefit out of it. I mean, +1 shooting, +1 melee, it's 1%. It's something, but still not enough to really be paid to win. Anything like that. I mean, there's no benefit to not use it, so put shit in there, even if it's only a slot or two. Watch it get upgraded. That's all you really need. Like, just let it roll. Just consider it another aspect of gacha grind games, and those are popular in Japan. Uh, yeah. When you get suits that actually have level 2 of stuff, it's more useful for the part slots than anything. I mean, I like it. I think it's neat. I just wish they did more with it. The numbers are too low to really be of any value for most of it. The slot increases is really all you're getting out of it. But even still, there's no reason not to just put a suit or two in there and just let it tick down, get back to it, and get some free upgrades. It might take a while, but there's nothing stopping you from doing it. Like, the fact that you can use the suit while it's upgrading is the big thing there, because that wasn't like that in 1.
Yeah, and one you had to wait for the full upgrade, right?
Yeah, you couldn't use the suit you were upgrading. So since you can, yeah, just put your favorite suits in there, get some upgrades.
This is it. This is it. I think the cool thing is if you roll dupes, you do get hanger enhancement points for the suit. Like, let's see, if you roll a dupe Alex, you get a certain amount. I don't remember exactly. It might be like plus 500 for a 3-star or something like that. Enhancement points for it. So that could easily help you, get to whatever enhancement skill that you're trying to get to on there. But overall, it's not going to have a huge standing on the game unless you constantly have tickets coming in, et cetera, et cetera. You're really, it's going to take a long time to upgrade, your favorite suits um, to its peak capacity in the hangar. But I threw the Zigaki in there, the Ifrit Kai level 3, and the Garibaldi Alpha. I've had one great success so far, and that was merely with the Garibaldi Alpha, just basic successes with the other two suits. Leo says in chat, there's a bug. The level 4 Gundam and level 4 Gelgoog don't get the benefit. And I think Leo's talking about the
double part slot. Most of that, where if you have a level 4 of a suit, it gives you +2 upgrades instead.
I feel like every week there's new bugs with this game that just shouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying? Like with the guard custom not having its skill the night that it drops. What are you doing? What are you doing, PP? What's going on? What's happening, man? Every week there's just one thing you
Bamco is just hovering over them. Release no suit.
Come on. 4 says these are the things I've been saying forever. 4, maybe you've just been ahead of the curve. You've just been ahead of the game.
Four is in the future. Let's be honest. We living in the now. 4 living in 2020 right now. Fuck. Four already knows whatever everything's gonna be released, but for some reason keeps like bamboozling us, saying G-line every.
No, it's cool, guys. 4 is going to be useless up until Zeta, where they can die for someone who's having a really, really bad day.
Dear God. One thing that has changed as well. This is not related to the hangar. It's more just in the medals itself. Before the medals, so you didn't really get a crate increase drop unless somebody actually used their medal. Now it's silver. You get +1% for finding a crate.
Wow! Oh my God! So generous.
And now the big gold medal.
The big gold medal.
Oof.
Okay.
Oof.
The big gold medal. This is where it gets a little bit more beneficial for you. You get a +5% increase in recon crate drop rate. So you get +5% if you get a gold medal. I think by the 3rd week, 4th week of the month, most people should have a gold medal if you've just been playing every day. Getting some of the doing the dailies, collecting tokens, etc. Most people will get a silver. Gold, you should be able to. We'll see. I got a bronze within just a couple days, just because of last month's rewards. Gave me a couple. I won some games, and so some people already have bronze. Some people will get silver. So whales have gold already, so that's cool. +5%, baby. That's where it's at.
It's evil when you think about it. They introduced the silver medal to make everyone realize how great it is to just constantly spam medals and get bonus everything in games. And then they release one that you're pretty much only going to get if you pay for tokens immediately.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
That's how it works.
I've been in raiding. I saw some gold medal all of a sudden. I was like, shit, man. I switched my mobile suit to something less soft throwy, and I was just
medals. It's like, how? Why did you spend that much money?
I don't know, man. That's crazy. But you know what? At the end of the day, these whales they're paying to keep this game alive. So thank you, whales. In a sense.
You're also paying for us to have bugs with suits when they come out.
Yeah,
we definitely appreciate it. Now, the final topic we're going to get to here today on the MLG GBO2 podcast is more of a battle tactic. It's how you're going to set yourself up for your own success, as well as to set your team up for success as well. Now, this is something that I feel strongly about. I think everybody who has been on this cast, Nova, Leather, Suplex, all are
very much so
in agreement upon. It's the stun meta. 1, it's the stun meta, but 2, it is taking advantage of the stun options that you have. So a lot of times, what I'll see, whether I'm in quick, customs, or raiding, is I'll see people just shooting their BRs one shot at a time, whether it be a Gelgoog beam rifle, an Alex beam rifle, or a Geo4 beam rifle. You can make the argument with the Geo4 and the Alex that maybe you do a little bit more damage overall, I guess, depending upon the suit that you're going up against. But you want to be charging your rifle. This is so crucial, so crucial. If you charge your rifle and you land the shot, you're gonna stun your enemy. We all know this for the most part at this point. Stun stun options, stun meta is very important for success in this game. What does this do? What is the great net benefit other than the stun of charging your BR? Well, of course it's a stun, but it sets up your melee game. It opens up the pathway for melee. It opens up the pathway for chain stuns from your team. Now the enemy's stunned in place. They're getting chain locked into that one spot. If they know how, the stun, values build up, and when you can restun them immediately after the first stun wears off, and it just sets everybody else up for greater success because now the enemy is stopped in their place. That's the biggest thing. It's the most important thing. Setting the team up for success. You can set your raids up on supports with a quick stun. Now the enemy supports are done for. You can set up your other GPs, your supports to stun lock the enemy. Very important stuff. And part of your melee game is you want to stun your opponent, then you want to go in for your neutral. They'll of course dodge roll. I've talked about this before. I talked about it just a little bit ago. They're going to dodge roll. Then you get to go up to them. They're basically they use their dodge roll unless they have double dodge roll, right? You get to boost up to them. Neutral downswing. Neutral downswing. If you're a Gelgoog, you get to immediately boost cancel out of that. Hit them with a BR shot, uncharged at that time. Go in for a neutral or a downswing if you're in a VG Goog. Leather. Why is it so important that, other than what I've said, why is it so important that we charge up our BRs and we use stun to set ourselves up in this game?
One word, baby. Actually, 3 words. Big dick.
Big dick damage.
Big dick damage. It is the law of this game. A lot of people say that the stun meta. I don't think that's true. What we currently have is a damage meta. The stunning is just a consequence of it.
Mm-hmm.
But setting yourself up for that melee allows you to just do that so much more damage. That's how we do it. That's how the 3 of us do. Like everybody on this cast just does those 100K games you see us post on the Discord if you're on there, or like if you're in any of the Discords we're in. And stunning and doing melee is just such a good combo. But like sometimes you also have to know when to go in for the melee and when not to go in for a melee, if you know what I'm saying. This is where sort of like the Alex kind of excels instead of like the Gelgoog. So like let's just say I shoot a guy, stun him, but then he has like 2 teammates coming over. If I'm in a Gelgoog at that point, I'm kind of I kind of have to like close my fist and then retreat a bit. But if you're in an Alex, you can just shoot him one more time, 1,000 damage. I said you can just and retreat, go back to your team or something. But yeah, setting yourself up and even saving teammates is also very very good thing to do with the, because saving a teammate, as much as on randoms and whatever, at the end of the day, if he manages to survive, that's still a gun that's out in place, even though he's like at 1,000 HP or whatever. But yeah,
That's an
you
extra
want to
body
get
up
better
front.
at this game. Yeah, it's an extra body up front. You as much as people say, "Oh, I don't know how to aim" or something. I think that a lot of people should start knowing how to aim, especially since a bunch of suits that people like are gonna eventually like at those higher costs are gonna be part of the B meta, and a bunch of them you're gonna have to learn how to aim and be able to stun and be able to do all these combos.
That's right. That's right. And I think the perfect suit, if you still struggle with aiming, and it's okay if you do, because most people haven't haven't been told this, but to pick up the early production Gelgoog, it's in DP level 1. Use the beam rifle. Okay, 400 cost. Beam rifle. Use that to improve your aim, because now if you're going for charged shots, that is going to be the key to doing every combo that you want to do in the EP Gelgoog. The Gundam, has access to the Super Napalm, rifle, so it has, a little quick stun in case you miss. The Gelgoog, it's a lot worse if you miss. A lot worse, because now you can't melee. You can't take advantage of the high melee priority and the beam naginata on it. It's just not happening. So if you want to improve your aim, early production Gelgoog, absolutely love it. I think it's the best way to force yourself to improve is using the Gelgoog early production model for 10, 20 matches, improving your aim with it. Coolio says, in terms of the beam stuns, especially for the Alex, it has that super fast charge. Stun into melee is so good for the Alex. It really is. Definitely is. Leather, you were about to say something, man?
No, I was about to say another suit people could. I think you cut off for a bit. Guy 3 also gets access to the level 1 Gelgoog beam rifle, and it's more shooting oriented than the EP Gelgoog. No, you don't have to feel too bad about not doing the stun. It is a bit slow on the boost speed, but at 350, everybody it's the blue Zuka meta, so everybody's already right next to you, so it's not really that big of a deal.
And for he cut out for me, but for a moment. So if it cut out for anybody listening, Leather was talking about the MP Gelgoog mass production one at 350 cost, a little bit of a safer cost to maybe bring this into other than 400. I personally like the EP for it because you get to also improve your combos, improve your ability to combo the enemy after a charged stun. You can do it with the MP. Just the EP has high melee priority. The shield is on the side. It can give you a little bit more at that cost. But Nova, what do you think, man? Coolio's talking about the Alex and its super fast charge. You are practically an Alex main. What's your thoughts on this, man?
Pretty much.
Well, to that I say, what's 400 games anyway? Yeah, the charge is, you can get a stun off with 3 hits, but you have to consider that total you have about 5 shots of uncharged Alex shots. The charge takes what I'll say roughly around 50%, so you can immediately get another charge shot ready. It takes roughly 4 seconds for the rifle to fully. You're all about stuns. Stuns and Gatling, if you want to maintain a little bit of range, force a dodge roll, and at that point, you're going to go for stun and melee. Stun and melee works mostly because you're in an Alex. You have high performance balancer. You have everything you really want to do with a melee attack. Stun and melee is just the way this game works, and anyone who's played, say, an Afreed Kai realizes stun, melee, stun, melee. The same works for a lot of suits, especially if they have higher melee correction over shooting. You really want to see what you have higher correction of. Things like supports are naturally going to have higher shooting. GPs can be mixed, but most GPs should still be using their melee as often as possible. You're there to put up a strong front line. You're there to put pressure up. And in the Alex, yeah, if you have an Alex, you can do a lot of that because you don't have to retreat as much with that stun rifle. Even if you do, you can just keep taking shots at your opponent, try to overload their legs, and suddenly it's a game of attrition. Alex's shield is great, its profile is great, but the stun, the charge, how quick you can do that, that is what makes you essentially a god on land and a new type in space.
I think Nova, you just hit it on the head, man.
Yeah.
I think
Nova here with the knowledge of fire, our Prometheus.
Our Prometheus, man. The Prometheus of the Alex.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I think Nova said it the best here, man. Everything he just said, if you didn't hear it the first time, rewind time, listen to it again. That's how you want to play Alex. That's how you want to utilize it. 4 says, what could shake up the 400 GP meta with tonight's banner? Gun cannon, heavy arm type. Come on.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think that could shake it up. Gun cannon, heavy arms type.
Is that the really tanky gun cannon from the first game?
Mm-hmm.
It was like impossible to kill. Oh my god. My god, the Ground Gundam 450 is about to be replaced. Oh no.
Oh no. don't replace the Ground Gundam 450. Oh no. In terms of a standard GP, off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything unless they change up cost variables of certain suits. Maybe the gym custom, if they make a change from it being a raid to a GP, they could make that 400.
I don't imagine so. People are excited for the next Fetty raid.
This is true.
The answer to the Goog Marine.
Coolio says G-Line. We've been saying G-Line, not on the podcast, but in
On the
in
Discord.
Discord servers, in chat. We've been it's a weekly running meme to us is that it's gonna be the G-Line. It's gonna be the G-Line. Nova, Leather, what do we think it's gonna be this week? What do we think?
Jim Cannon too.
I want to say, usually BB don't follow up on this stuff. Like it finished 0080. You know, I think they're gonna drop 0083 this week and just go for G Line, baby. That's right. Podcast G Line. Do it.
Don't listen to this man. He says only lies.
I'm a traitor. Nah, man, I just want exciting Fetty suits. Honestly, Jim Guard left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It left a bad taste in my mouth as well. But, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, that's all the time we have here today. You heard it here first. Nova thinks it's going to be the Jim Cannon 2. Leather thinks it's going to be G-Line. I'm going Gun Cannon Heavy Arms type. If you like today's show, leave a like on the video. Perhaps leave a comment. If you want Leather on more future podcasts, hit us up. Let us know. Leave a like. Put a comment for Leather. Anything of that nature. But we'll be back next week, Wednesday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode of the MLG GBO2 podcast. So until then, don't be a cunt. Take it easy.
Yeah.